Hello, welcome to this new session of software QA training. And in this session, I'm going to explain basic of decision table with an example. So after this, you will know how we can utilize decision table concept in software testing. So basically, decision table is very efficient and highly effective tool which can be utilized in software testing to check and verify all possible combination of tests that we should execute to ensure the quality of an application. So it will guarantee that we cover all the possible combination or all the required conditions or all the required combination that we need to test during our software testing. So before starting here, I'm gathering one requirement, and then from this requirement, I'm going to show how we can construct decision table. So first, like I said earlier, it is a systematic approach where the different input combination that we call as causes and their corresponding system behavior, we call them as outputs, are captured in a tabular form. I will show how we can construct that tabular form. So first, let's go through the requirement. And so in this requirement, we have basically three requirement. So first requirement is if the users log into the application with valid user, it's a requirement for one login page where if user logs into the application with a valid username and valid password, then they should be redirected to the account detail page. Basically, that is the dashboard or some login. After login, user would be redirected to that page. And if user enters correct username but incorrect password, then the error message like invalid login ID or password should be displayed. So it's the requirement that we got. And if user entered the invalid password for five times, or we can say after the fifth invalid attempt, the account should be locked. So here are basically three requirement that we got. And now to test this system or to ensure that our system meets all this requirement, we can use the decision table concept. So from this requirement, first we'll list out all the possible causes and effect based on our understanding of the requirement, and then we are going to construct the table. In the table, the causes will be listed in the upper left and the effect will be listed on the lower left. So it's the standard way to construct the decision table. And every cause should be a single statement, so we are not going to join the multiple causes with and or. So if there are multiple causes, then we'll list them individually. And if we write one side of the cause, like if we only write the positive side of the cause, then there is no need to add the negative causes. For example, if one of our causes is like enter valid password, then there is no need to write enter invalid password. We need to verify the invalid password or valid password, both the cases, but in while constructing the decision table or while creating the decision table, we don't need to write both side of the cause. If we write the positive cause, then we do not need to write the negative cause, and vice versa. From this requirement, now we can list and this general rule. We can list out the causes and effect as below. Here we have the three causes. One is valid username, one is valid password, and password attempt five times. So the negative side of these causes will be invalid username, invalid password, password attempts are less than five times or more than five times. But we do not need to write those both sides. So once we write the valid username, valid password, password attempt five times is a cause, it will satisfy all the causes that is going to happen in our system. And for any combination, for the various combination of these causes, the ultimate result or ultimate effect we are going to see in the application is either we'll land to the account detail phase, or we'll see the error message for invalid credential, that is invalid login ID or password or something, the invalid message, or the account is going to be locked. So we'll see which cause produce the which effect, but ultimately there will be only three effect. The user can go to the account detail page, or the invalid username or password or invalid error message for invalid credential will be shown, or the account will be locked. So from the given requirement that we see earlier, we see three causes and the three effect. There can be multiple causes or multiple effect based on your requirement, and it basically depends on the number of condition that is given in our requirement. So these are the causes and the effect. Now we have the causes and effect. Like the next step is we are going to construct the decision table based on these causes. So while constructing the decision table, the number of combination we need to test will always depends on the causes we have. You see in this tabular form, or like we see in this example, if there are two causes, then it will produce the four combination, that is the 2 to the power 2, that results in four combination. So here c1, c2, c3, c4, c5 and so on, it indicates the combination that we need to test, and that the particle c1, c2, c3, that indicates the causes that we have in the system. So first we need to fill out the combination of all the causes, and the maximum number of combination is always 2 to the power n. So n, like I said, n indicates the number of causes. Here in the first example, we had the two causes, and for two causes we need four combination to satisfy y and n, yes or no for all the causes. So to fill yes or no, we can, like, it's a permutation, we can say it as a combination of yes or no for all the field. And if there are like four causes, then there will be a 16 combination. And to fill out the combination, what we need to do is, in the first line we just need to fill 50% of combination is a yes and 50% is no. And then in the second line, we again divide those 50% into 25% and 25%. So first two will be yes and second two will be n, and same goes for the next half. And we again divide those yes and yes into the yes no, yes no, yes no. So, and same for if there are four causes, how you are going to fill up the combination is like first 50% of the combination will be yes and in the first line, and then 50% in the first cause, we can say 50% of the cause will be no. And in the second cause, the 50% of those like we have c1 to c8 as the yes in the first line, and then in the second cause we need 50% of those is the yes, and then 50% of the no, and the same goes for the next half. And if we go so on, like if we divide those yes into the again yes, yes, no, no, and then at the end what we see is we'll see the yes and no in the alternative way, and then this will capture all the yes and no combination for these four causes. So the first condition will be all yes, like all the causes, it satisfy all the causes. And the in second combination it satisfy three causes, and for the fourth causes it doesn't satisfy the fourth causes, and so on. So the first step is to construct the decision table based on these guidelines. Like if we have the four causes, then there will be a 16 condition we need to verify, and for the 16 condition, so actually for filling of this yes or no, it doesn't depend on our requirement. So for now we are not seeing any requirement. It's the standard way to fill all the yes and no combination. And then to fill the effect of these causes, then we will go through the requirement. So effect can be any number of effect that we construct in our initial table. So this is the way this is the way where I'm showing how we can construct the decision table for the causes only. And the for effect, here, yeah, same goes for our requirement. Here we have the three causes, that is valid username, valid password, and password attempts 5 times, and we have the three effect. So our decision table will look like this decision table for three causes. And then I have copied the same structure for this. Here we had the 8 conditions that we need to test, and the causes are listed in the upper left, and then effect are listed on the lower left corner of the table. So here c1, c2, and c3 indicates 3 causes. We have like valid username, valid password, password attempt 5 times. And the effect section, we have the effect 1, effect 2, and effect 3 is land to the account detail page, error message for invalid credential, and account log page. We haven't filled the effect session for this each combination, but now it's not that hard. Like, yeah, first now we can see this first combination indicates that we had the valid username, valid password, and password attempts 5 times. If all these conditions satisfy, then what will be our effect? And same goes for condition 2, condition 3. We'll check each condition, and then based on our requirement, we'll fill the effect session. So here in this table, in this decision table, we have filled our effect accordingly. So first table indicates that the username is valid, password is also valid, and password attempt is also 5 times. Whether the password attempt is 5 times or not, if user enters the valid username, valid password in the 5th attempt, like I said, then the user will be able to see the account detail page and their account won't be locked. So here, so that's why this combination of cause will produce this effect, and that the user will land to the account detail page. And for the second combination, it indicates that the username is valid and password is valid, but the password attempt is not 5 times. So it can be a first time, second time, or so eventually user enters the valid username and valid password, and that is not the 5th attempt. So even in this case, the user will see the account detail page. Now we have the third condition. Yeah, third condition shows that the username is valid and password is not valid. The N indicates the negative side of this cause. So the password is invalid and the user is trying the wrong password for the 5th time. So it's the 5th attempt. So as per the requirement, if user enters the invalid password and valid username in invalid password for the 5th time, then the error message for invalid credential will be shown and their account will also be locked because they are entering wrong password for 5 times. And yeah, same in the condition 4, the username is valid and the password is not valid and the password attempt is not 5 times. In all these cases, the result will be error message for invalid credential. You can see like here the yeah, like in this case you can see that user is not like in the last case you can see that username is not valid, password is not valid, and password is attempts is also 5 times. So the question might come like why account is not locked, but the account will never be locked if the username is not valid, because the for locking the account the password should be associated with some username. If user enters the valid username and then invalid password, and then only the account will be locked, because in other cases the account cannot be locked because we never know which username associated with that password, so the account won't be locked. So we filled this effect based on the combination of cause that we filled in each condition, like condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition 4, condition 5, condition 6, and condition 7 and 8. So yeah, even in this case, for the username is not valid, the password is valid, so there are various combination and the result we fulfill the result as per the requirement. So this is the decision table. And now the next step will be while constructing the decision table, it is the first step that we fill all the combination, like for 3 causes we filled 8 condition. And in practical scenario, we don't need to test all those 8 cases, because some of these combination of causes and effect may look irrelevant, and some of these can be combined into the one causes. So the next steps in while constructing the decision table will be to case reduction. It's a bit lengthy, but yeah, if we go through the line, then it will be clear. Like case reduction, first we are going to eliminate any illogical combination. So illogical combination is the especially the situation that is not supposed to happen in our system. So from the above decision table, combination 5 and 6 seem to be illogical, as it states that username is invalid and password is valid. So valid password for invalid username doesn't make sense, as there can be like if I enter the password like sign vision 1 2 3, this password can be associated with any username, like multiple username can have the common password, or there is no direct relation between the password to username. The username, we have the relation between the username and password, but we cannot backtrack the username using the password. So valid password for invalid username, that doesn't make any sense, as there can be a same password for multiple user account and there is no relation among them. So these two combination can thus be removed, like combination 5 and 6. So you can see that these two combination says the password is valid but username is valid. That's never going to happen in our system, though the password may accidentally match with some username, but we cannot ensure that which user tries that password. So these five combination 5 and 6 are illogical combination, so we are going to eliminate that. And the next step is the reduce the number of cases. So here we are going to find any two cases that are exactly the same with only one cause being different. Check if that causes does not result the that does not affect the result. So if so, we may need to delete one of the two columns. Repeat the process. We are going to repeat the same process for all these combination. We have 8 combination, and then we'll check all the combination. So in the above example, from above decision table, for combination 1 and 2, the users enter the valid username and password. No matter the number of attempts, it will always result in a successful login and lands to the user dashboard. So we can merge these two cases into one. So what it is saying is, like, here these are the two combination. The only difference between them is the password attempt, whether the password attempt is 5 times or not. But the user is typing, or user is entering their valid password in the, whether that is on the 5th attempt or whether that is on the 4th attempt, it doesn't make any impacts on the effect. Like if the user enters the invalid password, yeah, like in cause 3, then there will be another effect, like the account will be locked. But here, whether the attempt is 5 times, 4 times or not, then that they will produce they will land to the account detail page. So combination and 1 and 2, we can merge those into the one. So if we test one of those combination, then that should be enough. So it says like that. And similarly, the combination 7 and 8 can be merged as single case, since the user is entering both the username and password is incorrect. That's the result will always be an error message. Here the user is entering in both username and password is incorrect. So whether the password is attempt 5 times or not, then the user will gonna see the error message for invalid credential, and account is not going to locked because the username is not valid. So there is no possibility of locking the account without the user entering the valid username. So that's why we can merge those 7 and 8 into the one. So to repeat again, the elimination and the reduction is the different things. For eliminator, for illogical combination, we are not going to test that, to test those combination, like the combination 5 and 6, those are illogical. That is not going to happen. So that's basically those are illogical, so we are not going to test. And in the case reduction phase, like in 1 and 2 and 7, 8, 8, we are going to test one of them. No matter what we choose, then it should be enough. Like from 1 and 2, we can pick either 1 or 2, and in 7 and 8, we can pick 7 or 8. So after this case reduction, the final decision table we'll have is like, I highlighted yellow with the causes that we are going to merge. So from 1 and 2, we are going to pick one of the condition, and 3 and 4, we are not going to toss them, so we need to test both of them. And 5 and 6, those are the illogical cases, so we are going to remove them. And from 7 and 8, we are going to pick one of them. So the final decision table we'll have is like this. So from 1 and 2, what we are going to test is, we'll test valid username, valid password, and the cross. It indicates that the password attempts can be 5 times or not. So it doesn't matter at all. So the first condition will be valid username, valid password, and password attempts that can be 5 times or not. And the second is valid username, invalid password, and password attempts 5 times. And the fourth cause or third condition, we can say it as 1, second, and third condition we will have is, we'll enter the valid username, we'll enter the invalid password, and the password attempts won't be of 5 times, so it will be below the 5 times. And the effect we'll have is error message for invalid credential. And same from the 7 and 8, the username will be invalid. We will enter invalid username, we will enter invalid password, and whether that is the 5th attempts or not, we should get the result as error message for invalid credential. That message should be displayed. So ultimately, from those 8 condition if we test four of them, and as four of them as listed in this table, then it will be sufficient to cover all the requirement, or to guarantee that we see the expected result for each combination, or for each cases that our real user are going to enter in the system. So yeah, so this is decision table. So the advantage of this decision table is like, we yeah, initially there was the higher number of causes, like a condition, like we have a 8 condition, but eventually it will be enough if we just test the four of these condition. And yeah, we are not going to eliminate, or we are not going to remove those required cases. So it capture only the required cases, and it will guarantee that we cover all these combination, or all the required combination. So that's why we call it as a systematic approach, or scientific approach, where we test only the required condition, and we do not test unnecessary condition. So initially it will take time to construct the table, but ultimately now we have all the conditions that we need to test in our system, and then we can prepare test data, or we can prepare test scenario, or we can prepare test cases based on um, this condition. So it is the initial phase, or this is the initial phase where we first identify which key conditions we are going to absolutely test, or we are going to absolutely need it in our system. And once we identify that, then it's easy to prepare the test case, test data, or whatever. So you can utilize the similar concept for any requirement, or for any requirement which produce the result based on the combination of requirement. Like if user enters this value, then the result will be this. If user enters those values, that result will be that. So for such cases, you can construct the decision table. The only challenging part will be to identify the causes and the effect, and for that we need to read our requirement carefully, and then we'll have to see what are the combination, or what are the condition that should be satisfied to produce our effect. So basically those are input and output. What input is going to give us what output, and once we identify those, then it's very easy to construct the decision table. And yeah, like I saw in this table, if the causes number of causes increases, then that will also increase the number of condition. Like if we have 4 causes, then it will be 2 to the power 4 condition. If we have 5 causes, then it will have 2 to the power 5, like 32 condition. And then the number of effect doesn't matter. Like if the number of effect won't increase our number of conditions, so it's the cause which impacts our number of condition. So once we construct the decision table in this layout, or in this format, then we can first fill the effect based on the combination of causes, and then remove the illogical combination, and then do the case reduction, and then we'll finally get our final decision table. So this is our final decision table. So this is all. And if you have any confusion, like or concern on related to this decision table preparation, or if you have any other example where you are struggling on preparing the decision table, then feel free to reach out to me via comment, or yeah, you can mail us too. So thank you for watching this video, and yeah, thank you all.